Co-living is actually an age-old concept. Everything, is depending on taste and, the way these guys want to lead a lifestyle. 21 to 25-year-old who's an entry-level professional who's looking to live in a double sharing accommodation. I think so. Over a period of time, this will become like a mutual fund option. It is about 2 years away when funds will start chasing this asset class and this as an investment opportunity.
Hi, I'm Jayashree Kurup. I'm editor MBTV. I have with me Suresh Rangarajan. He's the CEO and founder of CoLive. Help us understand what is the principle behind co-living.
Co-living is actually an age-old concept. This actually goes back to the British era. When their soldiers used to come back to govern India, they used to live in something called the chamris. So this is pretty much like that. When bachelors away from their family with the same lifestyle live together, it is actually co-living, right?
Yeah. Does it need to be any different from, say, other kind of rental living?
Absolutely. I mean, I think what the family man requires and vis-a-vis a 21 to a 35-year-old requires is completely different. So everything, is depending on taste and, the way these guys want to lead a lifestyle. So it's very, very essential for us to understand what their requirements are.
Does location matter?
Location becomes very, very key. Our endeavor is to create a co-living facility outside every gate of an IT park. So you cannot obviously think that people again do a zigzag across the city, live on peripheries, live in school zones. Those are for family people, right? Bachelors want to live near entertainment zones, live near, workplaces, and that's what is the most important thing for co-living to take off.
So do you need an aggregated amount of space, or or individual landlords also pool in?
We need a lot of spaces together for us to achieve the economies of scale. So unless these places are together and again made to our bespoke custom style, it won't take off. All the stakeholders are going to be unhappy. So we create that kind of an environment. We tell people to build to our suiting to our style and to our floor plans, and that's what becomes the key for the success of co-living.
And typically, what's the size?
Ideally, the per consumption is about 200 square feet. The guy has to, he requires, a private bed and a private bath, and he wants to enjoy a lot of communal spaces, so that's the kind of spaces that we need to give. But from our point of view, we look at least 200 beds for us to achieve economies of scale. We run a lot of compatibility tests, like for example, there are buildings. So once you choose the location, how do you choose versus building A versus building B? It all depends on, the like-minded guys, right? If you want to listen to rock music, you live in building A. If you're preparing for an entrance exam, you live in building B.
Currently, how many rooms do you have?
We operate in beds, so we have about 15,500 beds. We operate in about 120 buildings across Bangalore, Chennai and Hyderabad. We will be in Pune and Mumbai very, very shortly.
And what is the profile of your workforce?
So there is a 21 to 25-year-old who's an entry-level professional who's looking to live in a double sharing accommodation. 25 to 29, upmarket guy is looking for a private accommodation. Then 29 to 32, maybe you're living with a, partner, live-in couple, or, just married. And then 32 to 35, when you probably are looking at a double income, no kids. We are welcome to students as well. There are students who live, but we are not building with a student focus, but students, we have about 15% of our customers, members who are students.
And do the sizes vary?
Yes, but on an average we are looking at about 200 square feet, but sizes do vary. 1 BHKs are typically about 450 square feet for a couple, so and studios are smaller in version. All those guys living in PGs today are going to get married at some point in time. The inventory that is available in the market, which is only a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK, is not suitable for, it's much more than what a couple requires. So it has to get repurposed. So there is a lot more inventory that needs to come up in the market, which is good quality studio and 1 BHK. Today we have about 25% of our customers and our inventory, which is couples 1 BHK.
How open are developers to this kind of a concept?
Last 6 months, I have met at least 120, 130 developers personally. It's taking time for them to adapt because it's like, a huge vehicle, a tanker to move, but they are adapting.
Did the slowdown in the real estate market account for this?
We have had a triple blow, RERA, GST and demonetization. So people are reeling under pressure, not able to recover, and plus the consumer behavior has changed. People are thinking that why should I buy when I can rent the same place at a much lower cost? Why should I service an EMI? I need liquidity, I need flexibility, I need mobility. The only thing that we are saying is, the guy who's buying it may not be the guy who's using it. The guy who's buying it may put it out on lease to the guy who's using it. Because houses are built according to your life stage, right? A 35, 40-year-old requires a different kind of housing from a 25-year-old.
Who want to enter the property market, what they can afford is not what they aspire to live in. So they buy smaller units.
Absolutely.
Is this an opportunity?
People are not going to buy real estate. They might buy real estate and also rent out the same real estate. It could even happen like that. Regulations have to evolve, which will also happen in the next couple of years. REIT has already become a common phenomenon among retail investors. People are getting warmed up to that idea. So all this is evolution, and it will happen, but it will take time. In real estate, it will take more time.
What is the average return that you get on your investment?
In a normal real estate, you know what the returns are. It is sub 3%. People talk about 2 to 3% as the standard product. If you get very lucky, maybe 3.5%. Nobody has got more than that. But in this kind of a thing, where it is purpose-built accommodation, you can get as much as 7 to 8%. And that's primarily because we've not done any magic. It's just that the sizing changes and your target audience remains constantly the same person. And the maintenance is better of your asset.
What are the pieces of regulation that needs to happen?
Recognition of rental housing. People are going to rely so much on rental housing. With so much of migration happening, rental housing is here to stay. So the status for a tenant is unfortunately that of a commercial. And it's very unfortunate because ultimately it's not the operator who pays. It's the tenant who ends up paying. It has to be treated on par with residential, because ultimately this is long-term residential for them.
On an average, what is the period of stay?
Typically, it's about 9 to 12 months. But once you offer them multiple products, they keep upgrading from one piece to the other.
Do they have to pay all their deposits and all over again, or you can?
No, we have a transfer policy. They move from one to the other. So their deposit is retained, and they get the flexibility. Their lock-in period is carried forward, so on and so forth.
What are your plans? How are you going to scale up?
We should get to 100,000 beds in the next 2 years. We see a lot more operators like us evolve. There is scope and room for many. And we believe that it's only good if there are good 4 or 5 operators, because then the industry gets formed. Monopoly is never good.
So do you see this as a investment option for retail consumers?
I think so. Over a period of time, this will become like a mutual fund option. People will, invest into buy-to-let properties. So there'll be multiple stakeholders. There'll be a developer who will create the asset. There'll be a financial institution which will distribute the asset ownership to various retail investors. There'll be a tenant who will come and live in the place and use the asset, and there'll be an operator who will maintain and ensure that the annuity rentals are paid out. So it's a combination. This will create a lot of stakeholders around it, and it will become a product that will become a perfect investment product.
And are you seeing a lot of funds chasing this concept?
It is about 2 years away when funds will start chasing this asset class and this as an investment opportunity. But I see a lot of action happening in the background at this point in time, because they have to see to believe.
So you guys use your own funds, raised funds? How did you do that?
Yeah, we partnered and backed by Salarpuria Sattva, which is one of the largest commercial developers. That just goes to show you how commercial developers are thinking these days. So we've raised and are backed by developers, and that's an indication as to how the market is evolving.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayashree.
Please subscribe to Magic Bricks on YouTube and click the bell icon to get new videos.